Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing Nuke.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. The king is back. Wladimir Klitschko is still sparring, and he looks fantastic. There's a video that surfaced online via social media, and it shows Wladimir Klitschko stalking his opponent, hitting, not getting hit, using lateral movement and great hand speed. Wladimir Klitschko looks amazing, and using that type of style and technique would have been amazing to see against guys like Fury and Anthony Joshua, the last two opponents he's fought, and ironically the last two guys he's lost to. His very last fight was in 2017 against Anthony Joshua. That was the 11th round knockout, and prior to that, his unanimous decision loss over 12 rounds to Tyson Fury in 2015. Prior to that, he had been undefeated for about 10 years, and he's beaten the who's who of the heavyweight division. He was probably the most feared man in the heavyweight division. He lost a lackluster fight to Tyson Fury. We've been wanting to see that rematch. Looks like Fury has been scared to death to give it to him, and so he's pulled out multiple times. Wladimir Klitschko moved on, fight Anthony Joshua in a big mega fight, which was fantastic, with both men being knocked down until ultimately AJ gaining control and stopping Wladimir Klitschko. Now, I will tell you, we would have loved to see that rematch. Could have went either way. This is a great fighter, great humanitarian, and a great guy for boxing. Wladimir Klitschko potentially being back, sparring, loving the game for what it is. I think that'll be a great thing. There's so many fighters I would like to see him matched up against. And this is a direct quote from Wladimir Klitschko. "I'm following a success formula that has worked well for me on any field of life. Willpower plus motivation plus discipline equals habit." That's powerful, folks. And I think that Wladimir Klitschko being back, a couple good potential opponents coming right off just to gain a little bit of respect would be a guy against Big Baby Jarrell Miller. That would be a huge fight for the simple fact that Big Baby Miller would be a great tune-up for a guy like Wladimir Klitschko. Wladimir Klitschko is a Hall of Famer, and so a Big Baby Miller would get him hot again. He could fight in Brooklyn, make it a spectacle. I don't want a guy of Wladimir Klitschko's talent and caliber going in and fighting the best of the best without at least one tune-up. I want him to be at his very best, to see his peak performances, and so I feel like that would be unfitting of a guy this good to not get his very best. And so a guy like Big Baby Jarrell Miller would be great. Another fight that would be fucking amazing if that Wladimir Klitschko got in the ring with a guy like a Huey Fury. That would be fantastic. Kubrat Pulev. That'll be fantastic. Or even a Joseph Parker. That'll be fantastic. I think a Dillian White is a risky fight. Then you have Anthony Joshua's risky. And then you have the other big fights, which are Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. I'd be very skeptical to see Wladimir Klitschko fight Tyson Fury again, seeing how Tyson Fury openly ducked him by pulling out of multiple fights and rematches with him. He seriously does not want to fight Wladimir Klitschko again, in no shape or form. And I don't believe he'll ever try to fight him again. I think Klitschko would make another huge fight with AJ, or even more massive fight in the United States with Deontay Wilder. Since Wilder has a name now, pretty much based off of AJ's name, and based off of what he does in this Tyson Fury fight. If he beats Tyson Fury, I would love to see Klitschko go and fight Deontay Wilder. As you know, the history behind Deontay Wilder and Wladimir Klitschko is that these guys used to be sparring partners, and there's also been rumors that Wladimir Klitschko knocked out Deontay Wilder in sparring. Yes, you heard that right. Now you got to think about it like this. A guy like Wladimir Klitschko, who has great technical boxing abilities, who's very strong, very powerful. He's the only guy to beat Alexander Povetkin. This guy is a fucking stud. He's not to be played with. He was the king of the division, reigning for 10 years for a fucking reason. This guy would make a huge splash in the heavyweight division this big. Now, I also think that if Anthony Joshua stops Alexander Povetkin in his fight later this month, I think that'll be a huge setup for a rematch next year with Wladimir Klitschko, just to see him coming off that huge win. But we really want to see Klitschko in maybe a tune-up first to get started. This is the fucking guy that we want back on the scene. Make heavyweight boxing back to what it used to be. He doesn't have to even win any fights. Just go in there, look competitive, and give one of these guys a good run for their money would be spectacle enough. We would love it. It's great for the sport. It's great for boxing. And you know what? As good as Vlad is, he can beat any one of the guys out here right now. Not saying he will, but saying he's capable of it. He's that good. He's a Hall of Famer, and he's hard to fucking beat. And I think he'll be hell or problem for anyone. I would love to see him face his long time sparring partner in Deontay Wilder. I think that'd be a fantastic matchup. You have a guy with a right hand, and then a guy that can fight against any style. Then you have two guys that really know each other, that's been in the ring with each other many times. I think that'll be fantastic. Now, you have to remember that when Wladimir Klitschko was fighting Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder came out and predicted that Wladimir Klitschko would be the one to win that fight. He didn't like Anthony Joshua's style. He felt Anthony Joshua was too bulky. He felt like Wladimir Klitschko was just an overall better fighter. And his prediction almost came true, but Anthony Joshua is much better than what Deontay Wilder or Wladimir Klitschko anticipated that he would be. Anthony Joshua is an elite heavyweight. Wladimir Klitschko also predicted that Anthony Joshua would beat Deontay Wilder should they fight. He said it would be a close fight, but he believed that Anthony Joshua would ultimately get the victory in that fight. So that's a very good style. We can go ahead and give him a direct quote. Basically, this is from Wladimir Klitschko. It's very difficult to calculate where Deontay Wilder's punches are coming from, but the strength, the core, and the foundation that Anthony Joshua has, in addition to being an Olympic champion, and he has the great amateur experience that Wilder does not have. I'll be happy, super happy, if I'm able to see Anthony Joshua succeed. I told him, the more you shine, the more I shine. That'll be fantastic. We would love to see that rematch, or possibly Deontay Wilder and Wladimir Klitschko. Tyson Fury, I'm not so hot because I don't believe it's going to fucking happen. This guy's a joke. But once again, it's the IBFP. Please subscribe.